All right, y'all, welcome back to the Eric and Tom Show. We are here with our project. We're getting ready to start. So this is our online beginners epoxy project. This is going to be a small casted top, and we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Okay, I know this is the boring part. Everybody wants to skip through to the mixing and pouring it in and seeing all the colors, but you know, it is very crucial with epoxy. Behind the scenes is actually more important than the actual product going in, because if any of this stuff is wrong or off a tad or anything like that, it can actually hurt the project as you move forward. We do not want you spending a bunch of money just to keep failing. So that's the whole point of the video. We want to try to help you past that. And just so you know, me and Tom have been doing epoxy for about 7 or 8 years now, and we failed at epoxy for two and a half years. I kid you not. It always stemmed back to, if there's 100 things to make an epoxy project beautiful, one little thing off is all it takes to mess up what you see at the finish. It is literally that simple. We're gonna show you a really cool, simple way, starting with our baking pan here. This is just gonna be a small little cutting board, if you will, but we have a baking pan from Walmart. Very simple, and the tape actually, here's the baking pan. The tape we use is actually called tuck tape. You can get this off Amazon. It's not super expensive. It's about, believe it or not, for tape it actually is. It's about $30 a roll, just depending on where you live. But tuck tape is what we're going to use here in the baking pan so that the resin does not stick to the pan and won't come off. So in putting your pan down and applying your tape, the tape is very sticky. We actually use a Bondo squeegee, something like that. And as that tape is being applied to get sharpened to the corners, that's why we use that. So we can press that in there and get that tape as flat as possible. Now, there's one other key here that I want to tell you. We're using a couple of leftover pieces of ash that we had. That's our species of wood. But if you really want to save some money and you're just practicing and learning and trying to get better at it, use a 2x4 right from the store. Just replace the 2x4 with this. That way, if things don't work out in your favor, you're minimizing your cost and what you have in it. This is more so just to be helpful to get you, to the finish, and you're liking what you see. So minimize that. You don't have to use an expensive wood so it's eating at your pocket, and if something goes south, now you got to start all over. Whatever wood you use, make sure you do not go in your backyard and get a couple of cool little pieces of wood. It has to be kiln dried, and the best way to do that is to get a moisture meter. Okay, if you're not 100% sure, if you go into a Home Depot and you get a 2x4, you know it is kiln dried. It's completely dried. If you go to a store, we actually went to a place that mills it and everything like that. Check it. Just because they're selling it doesn't mean that it's actually kiln dry. So when we went in our place where we actually got this ash wood, I checked that with the moisture meter just to make sure. You don't want to go all through this trouble and then there's actually too much moisture in the wood and it's going to end up ruining your project. So with the blocking here, all this is a little 2x4, and we wrap tuck tape around it. That's it. We use the blocking to sit right on top of the wood for a lot of reasons, actually 2 reasons. One, if the resin flows up over our project, the wood is lower than the pan, but if it got up here on the wood, we don't want it gripping our clamps and locking it to the project. And we're gonna ruin the clamps, and by the time we dig all that out, we're gonna have big holes in there. So that's one reason we use the blocks up here. Another reason is the size of your clamp, the actual jaw itself. Now in our situation, because the wood is so close up here to the pan, we didn't even need the blocks. I just put these on here as a precautionary. That way, as I'm pouring this resin into here, if we do happen to get up on here, I don't have to stop, hurry up, take my clamp off, put a block on. I'm already prepared. So that's what's going on here. It don't get any simpler than this. And you know, when you're done with the pan, it can be tossed away. So on the front side, there's one more thing I want to show you here. Take you a level, whatever you do not forget this step right here. Go ahead and show them, Tom. Make sure it is completely level or as best you can get. Okay, both ways. Because if not, as you pour this in here, it's going to level itself, and you don't want your resin to be, you know, heavy on one side, light on the other. It's going to cause problems in the finish. So make sure you are 110% level. So that's pretty much it on the front side. Super simple. And now we're going to get in. We're going to go ahead and cut this one off. We're trying to save some video space, but not leave anything out, because we've got several more videos just to do a project this small. But we wanted to share with you and start with this small of a project because we're getting ready to get into much larger projects at the basement job that we're at right now. We got 4 more epoxy projects going on over there, hence all the resin pretty much everywhere around the room. And we don't want to, we want to show you something on a smaller scale. It's a lot easier to work with and manipulate than it is on a big scale. So with all that being said, you know, we hope everybody tunes in. We hope these videos help you at home. If you're watching this one, then we'll have the next one right out, which is going to be our mixing and actually casting it. We got a cool glow-in-the-dark pigment I think you're really going to like. But that's it on the front side. So be sure to check out the next one where we go to show you the mixing and the casting part, and we're going to make a gorgeous top.